Right on, and welcome back to the Wreckless podcast. This is Chef Cody Storts here with the talented Eric Fuller.
Yes.
Absolutely. And then on the line, I haven't talked about who we're drinking with today, but he is joining us, and it's Mr. Dave McPhillips, and he is here from Regal Wines, and he has brought us some fantastic juice to try.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, you did bring the wine, dude.
You just called me for the wine. That was it.
No. You're good for other things, but we'll leave that one alone, dude. So, Dave.
Yeah.
What the hell did you bring for us, buddy?
Oh my gosh. It brought a couple of bottles from Freemark Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
Brought their Chardonnay, a Merlot, and a Cabernet Sauvignon.
All right, so nobody, let's say nobody knows anything about Freemark Abbey, man. This is I did a little research last night. I never tried to look too far into it. I just like to know what the hell I'm gonna get to drink today. You know what I mean? Like, well, I know you always bring good stuff, but for these things, people always come out of the box a little bit.
Well, Freemark Abbey is probably one of the oldest wineries in Napa Valley. Originally started in the late 1800s, and they've been producing wine since then. Part of the Judgment of Paris in 1972.
The Judgment of Paris?
Yes.
Are we still judging Paris? What the fuck?
No,
I'm going to judge them till the day I die.
They, it was a bunch of California winemakers that went up against a bunch of French winemakers.
Right.
And they were all blind tasted. Freemark Abbey was one of two wineries that was able to submit Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon to the tasting, and they fared very well. In fact, the majority of the French wines, and I love French wine.
Oh, dude, I'm just saying I judge Paris just because I think they talk funny and their noses up their ass. But that doesn't mean that I don't love. I mean, I went to Cordon Bleu. I'm a French trained chef. I cook with more butter than God should eat of himself. Probably is what ended up getting him in trouble in the long run. But I love French wines. I love the depth of it. I love everything about French wines. I just, we're in California. I got to smack somebody.
Yeah, you got to drink the California wines. But yeah, these wines held up very well through the judgment. And every 6 years they go back and they reevaluate the wines that went through the panel, and again, Freemark Abbey is always one of those wines that holds up very well.
All I keep thinking about is with that movie where the bottle shock or whatever, where the thing turned brown, and then, is that it?
Well, that's what it's based on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chateau Montelena was involved. That's the winery that was based around.
Damn, look at that! I only know like 4 movies my whole life, and that's one of them. That's crazy. It's a bad lines from Back to the Future or something. No, for real though, that's a crazy story. So this was around. I mean, this is around before Prohibition. It sounds like.
Well, during Prohibition, unfortunately, everything got shut down except for maybe a dozen wineries, that were able to produce wine for the communion, for religious reasons. Sorry about that.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah,
buddy.
I know. And they were one winery that was able to continue to make wine through that process or through that time.
Right.
And they're still making award-winning wines, and this wine right here, the Freemark Abbey Chardonnay, this is why I fell in love with wine. I was at a restaurant and it was paired beautifully against a poached quail egg and what was it, a mushroom cap. And it went.
What color was the mushroom cap? And we'll know if you like the wine.
Oh my God, that was
blue
too many.
Or purple.
Oh, I can't remember that far back. It just paired well.
So here's a great story about Dave, and I'll tell you this. I get introduced to a lot of people that sell wine and sell booze, and they always show up in nice clothes, either with a tie on or and you never really ask. You're just like, all right, you're in a hurry. When I was first, at Hopscotch over there, and you show up, they got wines, and your first instruction is, okay, what kind of wines you got? I got like 10 minutes, dude. It's I'm just busy. So every time I met Dave, he always brought me good wines, first of all, from whatever company, and always just knows to bring good stuff. But he always shows up, high and tight and ready for the game, right?
Looking like he came out of a Kohl's.
Yeah, so he shows up today without this thing, and look at he's
Old Navy, buddy.
Look, he's a fellow chucker, dude, tattooed.
I was eyeballing that.
They're hidden.
I was eyeballing that.
Look at this, dude. So I find out one day, I'm like, oh, so you're a game player, bro?
Yeah. You gotta let them know, though.
Yeah.
Maybe not too soon, but sometimes you just gotta kind of, roll it up a little bit. Let them.
I like people.
Pick and choose.
I like people that have two sides, and David's definitely one of them, man.
Yeah.
So I know that you were a restaurant guy at first, so I want to hear a little bit about your past before we go into this, man. Because I know you got a story beyond having a camel toe and a bird. Same with me.
Oh boy, yeah. God, grew up in the industry. God, Round Table Pizza was my first restaurant.
I remember showing them fake
Yeah.
IDs and getting drunk at Round Table,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, I probably served you.
Yeah.
And then just, hopped around a bunch of restaurants. And then I was very fortunate to land a position at a local restaurant up here in Brea. Had no wine experience whatsoever.
Right.
They brought me in. In fact, the question was, what do you know about wine? And I said red, white, and pink. And
Pink's my favorite.
yeah, I love pink too. And then 2 months later, I was sent up to Napa Valley for 2 weeks and went through a service and hospitality course at one of the larger wineries up there, and just fell in love with it and was able to become a certified sommelier. Now there's thousands and thousands of us out there now,
But it's not an easy thing. For those of you that don't know anything about being a sommelier, I mean, I haven't even taken my level 1. I've talked about it numerous times with my wife and everything else. That is definitely on my bucket list. But that's not a little achievement, whether thousands of people do it or not.
No.
There's trillions of people that aren't, and
Yeah.
it's a hard deal. And I mean, every time you come around, you impart my wisdom. So you became you're a Somm 1 or
certified, so
Certified,
level
cool.
2. Yeah.
Cool, rad.
And then just kind of took over the wine program at this restaurant, and I was very fortunate with the family that owned it and the management that supported me, and kind of got to grow up learning about wine, and never thought one wine was bad or one wine was good. I have a really cool flipping job. I get to taste wine on a daily basis.
No, it is
So-
one of the coolest. And there's a lot of people I still talk to this day, which floors me, that tell me wine is fancy, and I'm like, guys,
No.
I even tried to explain this to you, right? Like the other day,
Yeah.
I'm like, wine is simple, man. Wine is booze, wine is beer, wine is everything in a different format. It just has more structure, and it's older. Am I correct? It's just an older way of looking at it, so it has more ways and more things, and more people doing it.
Yeah, I think unfortunately there's a lot of people out there that they're kind of afraid of wine and the history behind it.
They're afraid of getting white girl drunk on wine, is what
Exactly.
they are. That's what'll happen.
Yeah.
12% booze. I know it happens. What can you do?
Yeah, the hangovers aren't that well aren't good with wine, but people are just they're kind of uptight about wine.
Right.
Just I worked with a sommelier, a master sommelier years ago, and he said, drink what you like and like what you drink. And if it's white Zinfandel, you're drinking wine. You're not drinking a glass of water at that bar or at that restaurant.
No, I agree. I've gone through ups and downs, man. I went through the Grenaches and the phases and the big Chiantis all the way to now. I like a crisp white.
Yeah, but I was very.
Are we still talking about your wife?
No, she's a nice, ripe Mexican.
Ooh.
Half and half. I'll take my half and half. My Spanish wine. She's feisty. It's my favorite.
Yeah, but
So after, so you were some there, and then where after that? Did you go straight into sales or?
well, then I went into sales and cut my teeth carrying a wine bag and a computer trying to sell wine to you a long time ago and continue and numerous restaurants and wine shops and stuff. And I got to travel. I was very fortunate. Spent 2 weeks in Burgundy and really fell in love with French wine. That's at first I didn't care for French wine. I came back and that's what I pretty much drink now.
Yeah, no, I'm the same about when I went to culinary school. These guys had these genius classes where they'd be like, hey, we're going to try wine. They bring like 16 bottles of wine out in this class. I think I was 25 at the time. And they were trying to explain to me I knew nothing about wine, about spitting wine out. We just got shitty every day.
Oh, yeah.
that was pretty much the end of that story. There's like, everyone's like, this one has crisp notes and 16 varietals and all these flavors. The last one was good. So... All right, man. Well, hey, we're stoked. We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to taste some of this stuff you got. We're going to talk about flavors and notes, and you as the somm are going to enlighten us on what you taste and what we talk about. We're going to teach Eric here a little bit something more about wine, because all I've taught him is how to tell if it's bad.
It's not a fun job.
Yeah.
It's not a fun
He's
job.
now my if the wine's bad taster is what it officially is. So,
Can't smell, man.
but he's doing a great job at it, right? Somebody's got to be the dude. So. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you back shortly on the Wreckless podcast.